Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Wednesday, February 12th. I am joined today by Matt Schoolfield on Twitter at schools_01, Boomy at Boomy TCF, and I am Zach Lilia on Twitter at ZLilja, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. If you want to watch our YouTube videos, go on to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Type on the Typical Chicago Fans channel and subscribe to us on there. Watch all of our videos on there. We put all of our morning shows and our Typical Chicago Fans podcast on there, and some random segments like throughout the morning show and the podcast that we do. I kind of break them up, make it a little easier for you to watch. So go on there, check it out, and subscribe, please. Watch the videos, like the videos. Comment, let us know what you think. Wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review, or if you're on Spotify, follow on there. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com if you want products just like this beautiful mug right here. This has a TCF logo. This is not on the site, but if you want a mug just like this beautiful mug, go on there, themuddyotter.com, or go to Facebook and Instagram and check them out on there. If you got some custom ideas, hit them up on there. Let them know what your ideas are. As Mitch and Hannah Prentice, thank you. Mitch was on last night. He is on the show a little bit here, and his wife Hannah. They do woodworking and pottery. Again, go to themuddyotter.com. Score Trader, go to the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app on there, make an account, free to play. And go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, check them out, Score Trader on there. Boomy, you said you messed around on the app today a little bit. Let us know what you think.
Yes, sir. I'm a big fan. I spent about 30 minutes on it last night getting my portfolio set up, and I honestly don't know why I didn't do this earlier. It's awesome. As a guy who loves current events and politics and government and all that good stuff, I love it. Yesterday was the New Hampshire primary, and obviously we're taping this the night before. Early indications that Bernie Sanders, who I said was going to win, is the leader right now in the clubhouse. But you can also be a candidate for cash prizes by playing Score Trader's Vote 2020 event. Score Trader is a free-to-play prediction trading game on the Apple App Store with a variety of events. You buy and sell shares in the Democratic presidential candidates in a freestanding continuous trading market, while also participating in state primary events like New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, and Super Tuesday. Nevada happened yesterday. New Hampshire happened yesterday. Nevada's the next one up. South Carolina at the end of the month. You can win in those events alone, but it's your performance in both those events and the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, in July that affect your overall profit in the Score Trader tokens in the entire Vote 2020 event. That is how the real cash prizes are awarded. Specific prize numbers will be announced in the coming weeks. Score Trader integrates political news into the app, so it's a great way to stay tuned in the election cycle, all the while expressing your vote of confidence in who you buy for the long haul, with also plenty of flexibility to change your picks throughout this election cycle. It's currently only on the Apple App Store, so find an Apple device, download it, follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff for tutorials. I literally went out and watched the tutorial for 2 minutes and kind of learned what I was doing. I bought a bunch of stocks in Bernie and Pete Buttigieg, and the Bernie one's paying off already. So, time to rock and roll, baby. It's next primary / caucus is coming up here pretty soon.
All right, thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter and Score Trader. So, boys, let's get into our first subject here. The Bulls look bad in D.C. tonight. They lose 126.
Bulls look bad.
It's 126 to 114. Yeah, it may not look that bad. Only a 12-point loss. But, boys, the Wizards stink and the Bulls stink. There's nothing to it. I saw our guy Barstool Carl got mad at a tweet that the Bulls sent out today, kind of trying to hype up the three-point contest that Zach LaVine will be in during the All-Star weekend. showing the 3-pointers that he made tonight. But it's like I don't want to see that. I don't need to see that right now. Like they are awful as a team. There's nothing to this team. It's just. I know it wasn't like they were going to be great at the beginning of the year, but the way that the season's played out is just awful. I know there's been injuries and wait for the guys to come back, but even if Laurie comes back, Laurie has not played well throughout the year, has not met expectations that going into the season, not even close. I mean, he has gone backwards this season, I would have to say. As bad as hard as it is to say that, you have to say it because he played a lot better last year, and Zach LaVine's playing well. Kobe White not even in the Rising Star game. Boys, thoughts on the Bulls season so far? Is this the last game before the All-Star break? Is the All-Star break this weekend? So is this the last game?
Yes, for the Bulls.
All right, let's go. What's your
this is as bad as it sounds. This was bad from the get-go because listen to the starting lineup. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Chandler Hutchinson, Thaddeus Young, Luke Cornett, Zach LaVine, and Thomas Satoransky. That automatically, from the first action of the game, makes you want to put your head in the wall.
That's ugly. That is ugly.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Like what?
The fact they even kept it within 12 makes it sound pretty good, actually.
Against the Washington they're 19-33.
It's like
they're 19-33.
They weren't even in the game at all. I mean, they said the Wizards scored 100 points on the Bulls in 3 quarters tonight. In 3 quarters, they scored 100 points. That is insane.
The Wizards had Ish Smith starting a game again tonight.
Ish Smith still plays basketball. That's crazy.
And Jan Mahinmi starting a game in the NBA. Like,
it's ugly. It's ugly. It's stupid.
Rui Hachimura and Bradley Beal are the only 2 guys that appear to be NBA players.
We have.
And the Bulls lost by 12.
I've never heard this name before, and he started for the Wizards.
We don't even
today.
have an NBA coach. Like, it's just there. Like, Jim Boylan is just there. It's not like he's going to be there in the long run. He's not going to be the coach of the future.
Zach LaVine just absolutely get the hell out of the way. 15-21 from the field. He took 11 threes at 8 of them.
41 points.
Like, absolutely. Just would you losers just get the hell out of the way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's all he's doing.
It's like I actually have to do something this weekend. So I'm going to get ready for that. So I'm just going to shoot and be very efficient.
And the worst part of it is Zach LaVine's not even that good of an NBA player.
No.
Like, he's a good scorer,
He
but
plays mind tricks on you
because win a title
when he's your best player and he goes out there, he has the flashy dunks, and he puts up the 40-point games every once in a while, and you're the Bulls, and you have nothing else. So what else do you think a good player looks like?
You let him be your J.R. Smith, like on the Cavs teams.
Yes.
You let him be your
third or
J.R.
fourth
Smith,
best player, then you're good.
Yeah. If he's your 3rd best player on an NBA team, you got some.
But
you could do.
We've
some
done that before. We did that. Jimmy Butler, better player, but we've also tried to make him the one, and he just wasn't the one. Like the Bulls have that. They don't know how to pick the right one.
Maybe the Bulls were the problem though. Look at Jimmy Butler now, because Jimmy Butler's having a monster.
But he was trouble when he left here too. I don't think that's just the Bulls.
I understand that,
but he's also the best player on that good team too. Which to what you're saying.
Well, he went to the right guy. He went to a guy in Pat Riley who pretty much goes, "Do what you want to do." Not a lot of.
That's the thing. It's a different front office. You look at we had John Paxson and Gar Forman running this organization into the absolute ground.
Let's just say this. That organization got LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, who was already there, yes, and Chris Bosh to go there and play. They did something right then,
And don't forget though, the Bulls had the opportunity to bring
and they couldn't because they didn't have the right front office.
But they had Derrick Rose and they still couldn't get it fucking done.
Incompetent.
Don't give this team a pass. Do not give this organization a pass. They do not deserve it. They're dog shit from the top down. It's over. Just burn the whole thing down and start
Yes.
over because they're not going anywhere.
It's awful.
We're
I'm so
almost the
tired of this
Knicks.
fucking team, dude.
It's
So
unbelievable.
tired of this team.
It's unbelievable. And like we're having an All-Star game in Chicago this year, and no one cares because the team. I mean, people care. People care. People care. I shouldn't say that. The All-Star game is going to be a big time. But imagine if the Bulls were a good team and we had like maybe 2 guys in the All-Star game, a guy in the dunk contest.
Could you imagine even if they were like the Derrick Rose, Noah Deng Bulls? Like that's a perfect team for the All-Star break.
Yeah,
it's a perfect team. They have hope. They're young. They're exciting. You know, they had a chance. All that stuff. They would have been perfect for the All-Star game. But no, we got Zach with threes. So hey, let's go, boys. Let's get fired up and go to the Madhouse on Madison on Saturday night.
Yeah, pay $15 for
God,
upper bowl seats.
unbelievable.
Like I'm not.
It's events like that
But-
just let every kid in Cook County, the surrounding areas that can fill up the United Center, just let them take all the seats that night.
Exactly.
Attendance is down though. Attendance is down.
They were also
It
rated
needs
the
to
fourth
be.
most valuable team in the NBA. It doesn't matter. There's going to be no change in the ownership. What's it matter, dude? He has no incentive to hire anybody that's worth a damn.
What do you mean? If
His team's-
the numbers and like the ticket sales go down, that will definitely affect.
You know how long that's
them.
going to take, though? That's going to take 15 years.
That's a family that made an absolute exorbitant amount of money on this organization in the 1990s.
If
Don't
any,
let that.
but-
Don't forget that because they
But
bought
that's-
that
Corporate money. It's not ticket sales that's going to do it. It's the corporate
They bought
sponsorships.
They bought that organization for pennies in the 80s, and look what they did in the 90s.
listen.
They have a treasure trove of cash, dude.
listen.
They have a treasure
Please
trove
listen.
of cash.
I'm not talking about money. Anyone who owns a professional team has money that it doesn't matter. Like they have money that we will never have. What I mean is if it starts to hurt like the look of the team and stuff like that, that's what no owner really honestly cares about money in a real way because they have more money than anyone in the world have because if you can own a professional team, then you have lots of money. I'm not talking about real money. I'm talking about like the look of the team and when you look at the attendance record and you start to dip farther and farther and farther down, that's the look that they're going to start.
Right, but the attendance dipping down is not affecting their pocketbooks right now. Literally, Forbes came out yesterday and said they are the 4th most valuable NBA franchise in the league. And the attendance thing is going to take 10, 12, 15 years to make a difference. Look at the Knicks. The Knicks have been horrible for 20-plus years, and it's just now they're still valuable.
They're gonna have to turn it into what like the Charlotte Bobcats were turning it in terms of attendance before they folded because they were getting like hundreds of people a night.
Yeah,
and that's what made that franchise.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing that people aren't going, but I just don't know if it's going to affect actual change.
It's got to happen more. It's got to be like total boycott of this organization until they just clear out everybody because this is just a joke, dude. This is the NBA. This is Chicago. Like this was a staple city in the NBA for a long time. Even before Jordan, before like the Bulls dynasty, like they were a top tier organization in the late '80s, early '90s, and then obviously we saw firsthand too with Derrick Rose and Noah in that area that we talked about. They were a top flight organization, and they're just nothing close to that at this point anymore.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll just move on. Theo Epstein, Joe Madden had some comments for each other today. Joe Madden pretty much saying that he would have liked to stick around in Chicago and that he was looking to coach another year there. Theo Epstein pretty much saying no, that is not true, and that he was not looking to go forward with the Chicago Cubs. Kind of two guys who you would think would never really get into a war of words with each other because you would think that neither of them would want to do that. But guys, thoughts on these guys? I wouldn't say it was it was just a little back and forth.
Yeah.
Theo Epstein just kind of he's just clarifying the statement. But it was a little surprising to see these two guys going back and forth. So thoughts?
My comment, or like my thing when Joe said, he was like, well, they tried to force some things on me. And it's like, we kind of stuff we all talked about and stuff, our buddy Dom talks about, like they were trying to get him to play the best guys available,
Well, that's
like
kind of what I would think Theo's job isn't to force it, but it is to bring up problems that you see.
Right. And I just thought it was just like you said, Zach, it was just not a part of their relationship I expected to hear out of those two. I don't know. It was just kind of strange for me, but like in the same breath, I'm like, yeah, dude, we're trying to get you to play guys that should have been on the field. Like kind of those obvious things that they've invested the time and the money in, stop trying to play, 800 different lineups. It was just some of the things that we've talked about coming to fruition, I guess is the best way to say it. I mean, it's a whole lot of nothing, but it's just a little strange.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. Matt, thoughts on the comments?
I mean, none of it's really that surprising to me. I think everybody kind of knew, it was pretty well out in the media, that there were some, philosophical differences between Matt and his staff, kind of being forced to get rid of pitching coaches, hitting coaches, things like that in the last few years. I think you got two alphas that both of them can take a lot of credit for helping end one of the longest sports title drought in major pro sports, championship drought, I should say. I don't know. It's really not all that surprising. I don't think it's a big deal. I think both sides are ready to move on. I think the dugout clubhouse needed a little bit different voice. I think once you've won a World Series and once you start doing, start becoming into your veteran years, so to say, I think the need for magicians and some of the sideshow acts, I think that wears thin on guys as they start, becoming a little bit more, I guess, deeper into their careers. I think a new voice is probably welcome in a lot of ways on both sides. So I don't know. Onus is on David Ross at this point, guys. I think that's all that really matters. So
yep.
I think they can say whatever they want. It really doesn't matter. They got a World Series. That's all we wanted. So they both have done their job as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think that now it's just time for the Cubs to go out and prove with what the team they have now. It's been a lot of talk this whole offseason. They haven't made moves. They didn't make any signings. But they did make – wait, you got something to say?
I'm glad you said that, though. I'm glad you said what you just did, though, because that the bullseye is on Theo now. The pressure seemed to be on Joe Madden the last year and a half on that organization. Now the target's going to be squarely on Theo Epstein's back, because if they don't perform this year or next year, we're going to fire another manager. They're going to I shouldn't say fire. They didn't fire Madden, but they didn't sign him, so it's equitable to a firing, I guess.
Right.
But what are you going to do then?
Yeah. So, but speaking of signings, the Cubs yesterday signed Jason Kipnis, second baseman. I think his last team was the Indians.
I believe so.
It's pretty much just an invitation to spring training.
And I think it's a
minor
kind of maybe a little fire starter for Nico Horner. See maybe if Nico gives Nico someone to compete with for that second base spot,
or a backup if he can.
Right. I agree.
Be kind of the veteran there. Like I said, it's a guy that if he goes into spring training and doesn't play well, it doesn't matter. He's literally on a minor league deal. What?
Kind of like the Carlos Gonzalez signing last year.
Yeah. But that was mid-season. This is the perfect time. This is you can start spring training, see what you can do, and if you kind of click with this team, maybe become friends with some of the players on the team, and you can get contribute, be a veteran leader in a way, and help out Nico Horner play second base. That would be beautiful.
As long as he doesn't turn into Daniel Descalso.
No, I wouldn't worry about that.
I think he has
contract's very different.
I think you deserve. I think Jason Kipnis deserves an apology for that one.
You're right. That was wrong
the one
of
thing
me.
I'll say too.
Sorry,
it's not
Jason.
Like it's not like Kipnis is like a 37-year-old. Like he's still only 32. He's been banged up the last couple of years a little bit, but 2016 he had a big year. 43 homers, 82 RBIs that year. We said a couple seasons of 4+ WAR. So second baseman at 32 years old that's got that kind of track record's never a bad thing. But as much as anything, if he's not going to supplant Nico, maybe just be a role model, teach him how to be a second baseman in Major League Baseball too, because there's a lot of worse guys you can learn from the Jason.
That's the nice thing, if
Absolutely.
he can provide some offense every 2 or 3, 4 days. If he's going into pinch hit every once in a while, he can give Nico a rest every once in a while.
You got a soft tossing right-hander. You got a soft tossing right-hander coming up in the 8th inning for say whatever dog shit team, or maybe say they're playing Milwaukee. Fuck Milwaukee too. We got Kipnis coming up in the 8th inning. I feel okay about that. That's an at bat I feel good about as a Cub fan. If
as
a
crazy
righty matchup like that, he's got power.
As crazy as
he's
it
a good
sounds,
hitter,
I think he's going to be one of the big players to look at throughout spring training. Can he click with the team? Can he find a spot? And hopefully maybe
Does he still
with no Ben Zobrist
my
on the
only
team,
issue with it is
it'd be nice to fill that spot.
That's the big move. That's the problem. Is this is the big move?
No,
God.
I don't really think this is the big move.
I'm just saying it's all these minor league deals and shit like that. It's like, come on, like the Cubs are still a big market team. They've got a lot of money, like we talked about. So come on,
hey.
go.
Yeah,
it could be worse though. We could have traded our best player away and pretty much looked like you gave up this.
We're about to.
But even if we did, we would not be in the same spot as the Boston Red Sox are now that they traded Mookie Betts.
Yeah. They don't even have a coach, and they
hired a
report
coach today. It was an interim coach.
They did?
Yeah, Ron Renicky. Renicky's their he's an interim manager
for the time being.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Even at that, I mean, that didn't really matter.
So the guy's first day on the job is the first day of spring training.
Oh,
Good luck, bud.
Did they report
jump right
today?
in?
When?
You got to figure he was relatively prepared.
Oh, I think that
it's
probably been set up.
They didn't just walk in and be like, "Hey, run this team till October."
Yeah. Another one of those behind the scenes things, right, Zach?
Yeah, that's maybe
I was sausage.
we'll give a free T-shirt to the person who can give out the time that I during the show that I put up my little mini bats. Because it's sometime during the show. I don't even know. I don't really want to figure it out.
Maybe we gotta post the question on Twitter, but make people go to Instagram for the answer or something. We gotta follow.
I think we'll have to do that. I kind of forgot about it, and I'm halfway through the show. Well, not even halfway. It was sometime. But hey, speaking of college basketball talk, we're going to talk about it right now. But Illinois only down 5 right now, making a comeback. But yeah, for poor Matt, unfortunately, North Carolina broke his heart on was it Sunday? Or was that Saturday?
It was Saturday night. That's the night they absolutely got murdered by a dog shit team in Wake Forest. They got absolutely destroyed. They didn't show up. You could tell they basically left every ounce of give a fuck on the floor in the loss to Duke when they decided that they couldn't hit a free throw. The refs decided that they wanted to take the bag from Coach K. A combination of it all. Carolina sucks.
Box out.
K doing what
Box
he does,
out.
Being a scumbag that he is. But you're right, box out.
3-on-1, and the one guy got the.
Zach, I don't want to talk about it right now. They just got their ass kicked by Wake Forest. It's
all I gotta say is I pray for Roy
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, they really did.
I pray for Roy Williams. He deserves
beat by
better than this.
17 to Wake Forest.
Yeah,
Wake Forest is they're a bad team, dude.
They're under 500 as well.
They have 4 wins in the conference now, unlike Carolina, who has 3.
Unfortunately, my Huskies' 6-game winning streak got snapped tonight as well.
They had a 6-game winning streak? Holy cow.
Yes. They got beat by 4, Matt.
You know what? You're right. I was looking at the other MAC team that I was paying attention to. Was my alma mater, Western Michigan, who got absolutely destroyed tonight, too. So Hell of a night for your boy. The school I paid and the school I cheer for. They, whatever.
The alumni section is not going good tonight.
Illinois is definitely stretching back into this thing crazy.
Down five. We are back in this game. Let's go.
How much? I gotta ask this college basketball. Like we're nearing in. We're like within a month of Selection Sunday. Do you guys buy any stock in San Diego State? They're 24-0.
It's a loaded question. I think yes. I think they're very, very good, but I think they're capable of losing in the second round.
Absolutely. They're capable of making an Elite Eight run, but they're also capable of like a weird.
Let's just say, I think this March Madness is going to be one of the best because I think there's going to be so much
shit show. It's going to be an
it's going to be crazy. There's going to be so many different stories. I think there's going to be a lot of not as big time teams that could have a chance to get into the Sweet 16s, the Final Fours.
This is the kind of year, and it's a team that has always been pretty dangerous in the tournament, but this year they might actually be for real. Dayton. That team
Dayton's having a really
outstanding, dude. And
I don't know. They routed Rhode Island tonight.
And Rhode Island's a good defensive team. They absolutely just they did not have any issue at all. Threw up 81 points against a really, really good defensive team.
Illinois down one now, and they just showed Darren Williams. Boys, remember back when I heard this on, I think it was on Pick Central on Barstool Radio. They're talking about the Arizona-Illinois game. That was one of the greatest college basketball games I've ever seen. Just even not even.
It was. I want to throw a quick question out there. That Illinois team, who did they end up losing?
Yeah, North Carolina. I'm not an Illinois fan. I'm not even talking about it like that. I'm not
Me neither.
Like I don't have a college basketball team, so I don't really care who they played.
That was one of the best college games.
How was Sean May's NBA career?
It was not good.
But he didn't really.
I don't think it was one.
He got a daddy. That's all that matters.
Did he eat his way out of the NBA?
He might have. But Illinois, though, that game, I still see Darren Williams 3 from like, I don't know, probably 30 feet out that gave Illinois the lead, and the All-State Arena just absolutely exploding for that game. Like that was outstanding. Such a
on another note, don't look now, but Penn State is 19-5.
Penn State's outstanding.
Since when does Penn State have a basketball team?
Zach, were you listening to Pick Central today? You said Penn State now is 11-0. They've covered 11 straight games in the month of February.
They are unbelievable right now.
Dating back to previous years.
Yeah.
11 straight covers in the month of February from Penn State.
The Big Ten is going to be a dominant force in this March Madness, boys.
Illinois is winning.
They're up one.
Now.
They are up one.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a comeback.
Big Ten teams at home. Don't sleep on them.
Tonight's a good test, though, for San Diego State, actually. Boomy, it's getting ready to start here in a few minutes. New Mexico.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one. I might fall asleep watching that game.
Yeah.
Also, I have to make a correction. The other night yeah, absolutely. The other night on the show, I had said that I thought NIU and U of I were the only two teams in the state of Illinois above 500. I was wrong. I apologize. I forgot about Bradley and I forgot about Loyola Chicago. Both of them. Bradley right now is sitting at 16-9, actually, having a pretty solid year in Hawaii. Not the Horizon, the Missouri Valley. And then also Loyola, Chicago. I just saw what their record was. I must have lost it already. But they're also having a pretty solid year. They're above 500. So I do apologize. There's 16. And there are 4 above 500 teams in the state of Illinois. So get out and get that.
Our guy, Pat Beals, was making sure that you knew. Always checking up on you.
I admit it. I didn't do my research that night.
He was tired. He was sleepy.
Well, I was working on some work stuff, literally like up until we recorded. So
Pat doesn't want to hear your excuses. He wants to hear the facts.
Yep,
Booty.
you're right. You're right.
But you know what else?
You're right.
You know what else
It's
he
on
wants
me.
to hear? He wants to hear. Oh no, wait. We gotta talk about the Blackhawks.
We don't really have to talk about the Blackhawks.
They're down.
They're
down
not
3.
quite
They're down
the
3 to
Bulls
4.
me, but they're slowly becoming. They're not quite the Bulls to me right now, but if they continue up the way that they've been playing, they're eventually gonna be that.
Take it easy,
Dude. I have no hope. I'm like daily running out of hope on the Blackhawks. Now, I don't think they're as much of a systematic failure like the Bulls are, but like this season might as well be over.
You're insane right now. They come back, they win this
I'm
game. You're still in it. What do you mean?
Not.
The Bulls are so far out of it, they can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Dude, the Blackhawks are 6 points out of the 8th seed.
I'm watching this game on mute right now, and something is going on, and people are not happy.
Yeah, Brett Underwood's
He's
about
he is screaming right now. He's going nuts.
That ball was.
But yeah, Blackhawks down 3 to 4 right now to the Oilers.
Foul. They could not have called a foul on that, did they?
Oh
my God. Oh my God.
Blackhawks losing to the Oilers 3 to 4 right now at the start of the third period. They are on a 5-game. I think it's the second game of a 5-game road streak. They're fading, but I didn't like the comparison there because the Bulls are in a different.
I wasn't necessarily talking about how far out they are, but like the amount of hope I have is just very, very similar.
I know, but the Bulls.
They just also have not done anything consistently all year.
The Bulls are so far.
My only thing, I'm gonna go meathead for a minute. They still have Cade and they still have Taves.
But we've been saying that since December.
I understand. I'm just saying those guys.
But they're doing better than they were then.
I feel differently because those guys have brought 3 rings. So it's like I
agree. I agree. But I don't.
It's almost like I don't get that upset about it. Like I don't get as upset about. Like I don't get as passionately angry as I did. Like when I was talking about the Bulls a little bit ago. Like I don't know. The core of this team has done so much that it's like, okay, yeah, you get old and you take the good with the bad, but the Bulls just don't seem to have a plan. The Hawks have injected some youth. They're trying, they've got in Boquist, they've got, Kirby Doc's those are the guys that you're gonna start seeing being your Taves and your Duncan Keiths. And now they need to get a Patrick Cade coming up, playmaker behind them. And we thought the Brinket maybe is that, but they got a lot of work to do. But they've at least got a plan, unlike the Bulls.
That's where I think the major disgusting comparison between Patrick Kane and Felicio's contract. Felicio's making maybe $1 million or $2 million less. That is the worst contract of all time.
Felicio should be bagging groceries.
We talk about the Jason Hayward contracts, and we talk about bad contracts here in Chicago. That will be the worst contract of all time. He is so bad.
Let's not forget with Felicio, that was an extension too. They didn't even negotiate. No. They didn't even have a market to set his price. Like the Cubs did with Hayward. Hayward was a free agent, so they had to pay what other people were about to pay. Felicio, they were negotiating against themselves.
You think another team would go, what are you
doing?
You think we're going to match that deal? You are crazy.
But we're going
to... Are we talking about the same basketball player?
No.
We're going to keep Garpax in the same fucking spot that they've been in for what it feels like 2 decades. This is a joke, dude.
This is a good way to make me smile. It's Lovie Smith at the Illinois game tonight.
Oh my God! Good old white beard. That's awesome.
Oh, I can't look at Lovie Smith and not get a smile on my face. Imagine if that could have worked out. He could have been he could have.
I'm sure
10,
Bowie
15
thinks
year.
the same thing too.
I was gonna say it. I didn't want to poke the bear.
What? Oh,
I was a fan of Lovie too.
Good one.
His record against the Packers was not great.
God,
that was a good one.
It's depressing being a Cubs fan, a Bears fan, a Bulls fan, a Hawks fan, Carolina fan. Life is depressing in sports right
You gotta
now.
like find a fun new hobby, Matt. Like I don't even know. I'll try to look for something for you. I don't know, man.
And you guys like ping pong, or you guys good at ping pong? Either of you?
Yes, we're both good ping pong players.
Well, I know you guys have had a long-standing battle on the, on the YouTube shows that we've had in the past. But I think, maybe something like that. It's impressive to watch those guys that are like really good. I don't know.
Competitive ping pong is insane.
It's bananas.
Oh, we forgot to talk in college basketball about one team, the Florida Gators.
Yeah, stink.
Oh.
All right, we still got a better record than North Carolina, so I can live with myself.
This is your problem, Boomy. You don't take problems head on. You always got to throw some jab at it.
That's fine.
Hey, if I'm going down, I'm taking somebody with me.
I
all
didn't
right?
say
I'm not floating this alone.
Roy's got rigs, dude. Roy's got rigs. That's all that matters.
So do we. We won 2 in a row. 07 and 08,
Talking
baby.
about his
Talking
head
about-
coach is what he's talking about.
And then
Not
what
an
else?
organization, a team.
And then what else?
A team freaking
Carolina's
players on that team have
won 2
retired
since
already.
then. I don't even want to hear it. Don't even give me.
The bad thing is Florida is having such a bad year, and there's still an off chance that they could somehow end up in the NCAA tournament, even though they don't deserve it.
Yeah. Why don't you guys go harbor some more criminals, harbor some more murderers?
Won us 2 national championships in football.
Why don't you bring those class acts like Urban Meyer and inject those guys into society some more? We need more people like
The ends justify the means.
All right, Boomy, go on to your wacky web story.
Tim Tebow washes all that out anyway, you know.
Yeah.
You have football
just go
Jesus on the team that washes out the terrible other humans you had.
30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes. I'll never forget that speech. I will never forget. What a clown.
Man.
What an absolute clown. He's still trying to toil away in minor league baseball.
You leave baseball Jesus out of this, all right? All right, so this goes for people that are more like myself, not like Zach. Not great drivers. I am probably not the best driver, but I take pride in this. Zach, you seem like a guy who is pretty good at parallel parking. Am I okay in that assumption?
I don't really do it because I have a truck, so I try to stay away from that in general. But maybe, I don't know.
But you've got to be a good parallel parker because I remember you said you're really good backing up a trailer.
I can definitely do
bad
that.
ratings if I remember correctly. So you've got to be a pretty decent parallel parker.
They're transferable.
Back up a trailer.
But the Nevada Department of Motor Vehicles has officially eliminated the parallel portion of the driving skills test. So this is good news for people who cannot parallel park, aka my wife. This test, it still meets the national standard set by the American Association of Motor Vehicles Administration. What a boring organization that must be. Even without parallel parking element, the public information officer said the changes will take place on started to take place on January 13th. So now you can still be, you get your driver's license if you don't know how to parallel park. But it makes me sad that there's going to be a generation of people growing up that never had to like sweat out. Like literally, I started sweating the first time they tried to make me parallel park a car in driver's ed. And I feel like people are going to miss out on that. Like that's a life, achievement. That's one of those hills you got to climb when you're 15 years old and driving a driver's ed car. So
Let's just say boot me.
Can you go back and say the name of that governing body, that organization, the American Association of what? What was that?
What? Are you mad at me? Or you want to make me talk about the most boring organization?
I want to hear the name of that again real quick.
Try not to fall asleep. The American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators, the AAMVA.
Good God.
What a bunch of nerds.
Could you imagine a Christmas party at that office? Holy fuck.
Well, if you look at the Q2 projections,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, back to the parallel parking. I don't know. That just threw me for a loop for a second. Parallel parking. I think it's a skill that people need because a lot of these towns are going to They're expanding their main thoroughfares through town. They're going to 4-lane streets so they can do all various things. And what that means is it's more side parking instead of the diagonal parking. So I still think it's a skill that people are going to need. You know,
Exactly.
like, I don't know. Like, at some point, it's just like parallel parking is not hard. You pull up in front of where you want to park and you back in. It's not rocket science. Like,
Matt,
it's
quick
pretty,
Madden rating. How good at parallel parking are you?
I'll say 80, 83. 83.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm going to have it, the 3 inches off the curb and in a symmetrical distance from the car in front of me and the car behind me. I'll be within the lines. I'll be in a reasonable spot. I'll get the job done. Probably won't back into the car behind me. Maybe occasionally I'll tap it once. You just got to make sure people are paying attention. But I would do a decent job. 83.
I was going to give myself like 78, 79. What about you, Zach?
TBD.
Yeah.
You'll go park around the block instead.
Should we get a video tomorrow of you trying to parallel park in downtown somewhere?
Yeah, I haven't really. I don't know if I've ever really parallel parked in my whole life that I can think of.
Maybe it is a skill we
of
can
like
get rid
when
of.
I was doing driver's ed, but I've always had a truck, so I usually just try to avoid the whole parallel park thing.
It's understandable.
Are you a back into your parking spot because you got a truck guy?
No. Usually,
Thank you.
I will.
Thank you.
I
You're
will
a good man.
if there's
You're
like
a good man.
if there's plenty of room. I usually try to, but if it's like a tight space, I will not do that.
Yeah, you're a good man. Don't be that guy.
But if it's like, sometimes I do think about like the area, and if it's like kind of like a tight parking lot, I do like to back in, so then you can get an easy out because it's kind of dangerous. Backing out.
If I'm driving my backup car, which is an SUV, I will literally, like, if I'm going to Walmart and it's like too tight of a spot, I'll just go park like 50 feet from all the other cars. I'll just hoof it. I don't care.
I was very, very close to taking a picture of a car the other day that I was about to just send on social media because it was literally like 3 spots across, and this was not anything more than like a Toyota Camry or something.
Oh,
so it was a newer model of a everyday car. It was about it, and it's just like, you know what? Like, people like you deserve really, really unfortunate shit to happen. And I don't mean deaths and stuff like that. I just mean like you fall down in the middle of Target.
Or like the shampoo bottle falls on your toe.
You have a flat tire in your car. Something like that where it's just like a big pain in the ass. You deserve pains in the ass to happen.
Make a layup! Make a layup, you idiot! I'm sorry.
My God.
I didn't mean to be that way.
My God, how does that not fall? Unreal.
Dude, he did that move, and then I didn't mean to. The idiot was mean. I'm sorry. You're not an idiot. I'm an idiot. You're a nice guy.
That's called passion, Zach. Just let it go.
Oh, it looked like he almost carried the ball too a little bit there.
Why don't we let you bounce out and finish the end of this money line you got here?
Yeah, so post show, Zillow, it's got to go. But thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. You can go to themuddyotter.com. Check out products just like this beautiful mug right here. Go to The Muddy Otter if you want products just like this. I think Illinois ball. Okay, good. Also, shout out to go to Instagram, Facebook for The Muddy Otter. Social media, if you got some custom ideas, hit them up on there. Let them know. TheMuddyOtter.com. Also, Score Trader, like Boomy was saying, the New Hampshire primary is over. Go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app. Get yourself an account on there for the next. Is it primary or caucus?
Primary. South Carolina
primary. Oh,
nope. Maybe Nevada.
We'll get more into that tomorrow. But shout out to Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter. Boomy at Boomy TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. I am at ZLilja, LILJA TCF. Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago fans, I'm watching this game while I'm doing. He's fouled though. Might as well stay for the rest of this. Maybe not. Go to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe on there. We put all the TCF morning shows and the Typical Chicago Fans podcast on there, and some of the little segments that we do throughout the show. We cut it up, make it a little bit easier for you to watch on there. Also, wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe again, resubscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us
Demo phones at Best Buy, Target, all those places.
Give us a nice review. Like I said, thank you for watching, listening to the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, February 12th. We love you all.
Peace.